This week on Christian World News, driven underground, China's government banning a major church 10 years after making history by allowing it to worship openly.
Plus, humanitarian crisis in Mozambique. Storms and floods already killing hundreds. Now, contaminated water and lack of medical care threaten an outbreak of deadly disease.
And the unique ministry that's looking after the babies of the women trapped in prostitution. The founder of Saving Moses shares how she's bringing care to the area where it's most urgent and least available. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Christian World News. I'm George Thomas.
And I'm Wendy Griffith. Authorities in China's capital have shut down one of that city's most well-known churches. On March 23rd, 20 police officers raided 2 Shaowang Church Bible studies and ordered members of the congregation to stop meeting.
Shaowang Church drew almost 1,000 people each Sunday. It is the 4th major underground church to be shut down by the government as part of an ongoing clampdown on religious freedom. 9 years ago, CBN News became the first television news network permitted to film Shaowang Church services. Here's a look at that report from 2010. On a recent Sunday morning, a few blocks from Beijing's financial district, hundreds of Christians gathered to worship God.
20 years ago, we would have never permitted you to film our meeting. But today, China is changing, and the church has to change as well.
Jin Tiangming pastors one of the largest so-called underground churches in Beijing. This is the first time since founding his church 17 years ago that he's opened the service to cameras.
We worship in secret for years. We were spread out across the city, meeting in different people's homes.
Then a couple of years ago, the church decided to come out of hiding. They rented space in a small office building and began meeting together in one location.
We brought all the small house churches together in one place, even though it was a huge security risk.
Members began openly inviting non-believers to the meetings. The church began to grow. Liu says some 1,000 people regularly attend the weekly service, and often it's standing room only. Today, Chinese government data and international surveys report millions of Chinese people are flocking to religions like Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, and Islam. But it's Christianity that's experiencing the most dramatic growth. Trying to get precise figures on the number of Christians today in China is extremely difficult, but clearly they are part of mainstream society today. All the more experts say that Christians, especially those who are part of the so-called house church, go public.
That's why we exist.
Mm-hmm. That's why you exist?
Yeah.
That's what you want? That's your ultimate goal?
Yeah.
To be recognized legally?
Yeah.
George, why?
Yeah.
Why is the Chinese government doing this to its own people?
It's unbelievable. 10 years ago, we were allowed to film, and they wanted to come out and be be publicly recognized by the government. But the Chinese government, Wendy, truly are so afraid of Christians. Why? Because they feel like the Christians can be a threat to the Communist Party. They see what's happening today in the United States, where evangelicals have such a huge influence in society and can influence the political landscape. The Chinese government is so concerned that communism will be threatened by these evangelical believers.
George, do you think this campaign will backfire and the church will end up flourishing?
Yeah, I've been covering China, Wendy, for the last 25 plus years. And there is no doubt when the pressure is on, the church grows. We have seen it around the world, from the Middle East to parts of Africa, Southeast Asia. Every time the sort of Bunsen burner is put to the faith of the believers, they find ways to say, Lord, we are going to depend on you no matter what happens. Persecution, arrest, death, whatever happens, we will never say no to Jesus Christ. And this will backfire because this will make the church more stronger, bolder, and it will grow.
And the politicians never figured this out.
No, they
Thank goodness.
No, this is they want to make the Chinese Christians to put their faith in the Communist Party and replace Jesus Christ with the Communist Party. That's not going to happen.
Never going to happen.
No, it's not.
Great report. Thanks,
Thank you.
George. Well, Well, the Islamic State has been driven from Syria and Iraq, but the damage done by the jihadi army will continue for generations. The group's genocidal policies hurt the church and other religious minorities. It's had the opposite effect on some Muslims, turning them from Islam to Christianity. Dale Hurd reports.
The headlines say Islam is going to be the largest religion in the world. But Islam is facing a crisis. The terrible deeds of ISIS, done in the name of Allah and following the violent example of Muhammad, have horrified many Muslims who are now questioning their faith. Missionaries to the Islamic world say more Muslims have converted to Christianity since 9/11 than during the entire 14 centuries of Islamic history. Many keep their conversions a secret, afraid for their lives. In London, this British college student from a Pakistani immigrant family left Islam after a lengthy study convinced him the Quran could not be true. We hid his face because Islam teaches that apostates must be killed.
If someone leaves Islam or becomes apostate, he is thrown out of his family. His family will be the first one to abandon him. His friends will reject him. He will be killed or he will be persecuted. A lot of my friends, they said, okay, this is the last time we are talking to you because you disrespected Prophet Muhammad. You disrespected Islam.
Some ex-Muslims become atheists, but some discover a God who loves.
Because of ISIS, many people become Christian.
In Sweden, Pastor Fuad Rasho, himself an immigrant from Syria, has baptized more than 100 ex-Muslims.
Every week, I meet almost one or more who come to me. They come to me and like to know about Christianity, about Bible, because they are very angry. They are Muslim, as they don't like to continue to be Muslim.
When it comes to religion, Europe has been called the new dark continent, and some Muslims here feel trapped between atheism and radical Islam. But they see hope in Christianity. When Nassim Ben Iman came with his parents to Germany as immigrants from a Muslim nation, he remembers thinking that if Germany is a Christian nation, then Christianity is a dead, sinful religion.
Nakedness in the television is because of the Christian religion. Living together, not married, is because of the Christian religion.
But then Nassim discovered real Christianity and is today an evangelist reaching Muslims and non-Muslims for Christ.
When the people understand who Jesus is, they will more and more love Jesus and follow Jesus. And when the Muslims understand more and more what Muhammad is, what the Quran is, what the history is, then they will go farther away from Islam.
Islam is going to collapse.
Brother Rashid is the son of a Moroccan imam who lived for 15 years as a secret convert to Christianity. Now he hosts an Arabic-language Christian program called Daring Questions that challenges Muslims to question their faith.
Many Muslims actually, they say, if what ISIS is doing is Islam, I'm leaving it. Some of them are becoming atheists. There's a huge wave of atheism in the Arab world right now. And there is also a huge wave of conversion to Christianity, following Jesus Christ. I have never seen something like this. Islam was never faced with this crisis before.
Nassim says Islam appears strong, but is only feeding off the spiritual void in many weak Christian nations.
Let me say, the greatest power of the Islam is the weakness of the Christians. That's what's happened in Germany and I think in America and all the Western countries.
Even while it seems that Islam is poised to overtake the West, Brother Rashid says Christians should not fear Islam, a faith that he is convinced is slowly dying.
Islam is not God's instrument to judge the West. I think people are afraid because of what they see on the news, but even violence is just a sign of collapse.
Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Thank you, Dale. Turkish president says he plans to convert Istanbul's famous Hagia Sophia landmark back into a mosque. The Hagia Sophia was once an Orthodox church, later turned into a mosque during the Ottoman rule, and has served as a museum since 1935. Now, President Recep Erdogan says it was a very big mistake to turn it into a museum in the first place. Some Turks have been calling for the structure to be turned back into a mosque for years. Those voices grew louder after the gunman who killed Muslims in New Zealand reportedly wrote in a manifesto that the Hagia Sophia would be, quote, free of minarets.
Coming up, race against time in Mozambique in the aftermath of a deadly cyclone. Aid workers and medical personnel fight to stem an outbreak of disease.
CBN presents The I Wills of God, your path to overcoming fear and anxiety.
We're going to talk about some of the incredible promises God has made to His children.
In Pat Robertson's newest teaching, you'll discover the I wills of God. I will rescue him, protect him, answer him, be with him in trouble, deliver him, honor him, satisfy him with long life, show him my salvation, and see amazing stories of God's promises in action.
What I felt was loved and treasured.
God spared my life twice in 3 days.
The good Lord had given me a second chance.
Break free from stress and despair.
The Lord doesn't want you to live in fear, but to know the rewards given to those who love God.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or visit cbn.com. The I Wills of God, your path to overcoming fear and anxiety.
Hello, I'm Terry Newsom. Did you know there are more than 148 million orphans in the world today? 148 million. But it was 3 little girls that taught me about the plight of orphans. My husband and I spent nearly a month immersed in the daily activities of a Ukrainian orphanage as we waited to adopt 3 sisters. I saw firsthand the utter loneliness, the pain of rejection, and the overwhelming desire to be loved. That experience changed me forever. And out of it grew a ministry from my heart called Orphan's Promise. Today, we're helping orphans and vulnerable children in more than 50 countries worldwide. Thousands of children are now in safe homes. They're being educated, and they're learning life skills. I'm asking you to join with me and become family to these children. Will you call the number on your screen right now? Because every child deserves a chance to be happy.
Welcome back to Christian World News. A science teacher from a remote village in Kenya is the winner of this year's $1 million Global Teacher Prize. Not only because he's a star in the classroom, but because he also gives 80% of his earnings to poor students. Peter Tabichi, who is also a member of a Franciscan order, was selected among 10,000 applicants to take home the $1 million prize. He teaches at a government-run school that has no library, no laboratory, and only 1 computer. Almost a third of the children in his village are orphans or only have 1 parent. Despite this, he's helped them compete in international science competitions and even to go to college.
I feel great. I can't believe it. I feel so happy to be among the best teachers in the world, being the best in the world.
Congratulations to Tabichi. He also thanked his father for teaching him Christian principles as a child. He'll use the money to improve his school and help feed the poor.
Wow. Well, cases of cholera confirmed in Mozambique after that deadly cyclone tore through the East African nation. At least 5 cases have been confirmed in the port city of Beira. It's home to about 500,000 people. Many are struggling to find clean drinking water or sanitation water, and up to 1,000 people may have died. The World Health Organization is warning of a possible second disaster if waterborne diseases like cholera spread. About 900,000 cholera vaccines are being shipped.
I recently spoke with Angel Purman of the ministry Iris Relief about what they are seeing as they are working to help the flood victims. What is the main source of concern for residents there right now?
Well, right now it's the flooding. Right now, it's being able to save lives. We are just about a week out now, and so the water levels are rising still, and so seconds count, and so it's vital and important. We do have the division of IRIS Global, not only with IRIS Relief, but we also have our aviation, our cargo plane there, being able to do assessments, be able to see, be able to find those that are still stranded by the waters.
What is the Mozambican government doing, and how are they being helped?
We were rapidly deployed and right there on the ground to come and just see how we could even leverage and be there to be support for the government. So they are taking aircraft and bringing in other, like you said, agencies to come and assess and help. World Food Program was one of the first ones there on the ground of bringing in food and being able to bring in nourishment, because we know without water and food, people die.
How can we, Angel, be praying for those affected right now?
Yeah, so right now it's bringing in other agencies. We were just talking to Direct Relief and partnering with them and just being able to be the eyes on the ground to even help bring in medical supplies.
Thank you so much.
Up next, breaking the cycle of prostitution in Cambodia. One woman's unique ministry to the children of sex workers.
Parents, the Superbook Bible app is a great way to get your child reading the Bible, because in today's busy world, we can use some help. The free Superbook Bible app has fun stuff your kids will love. They'll have a blast learning the Bible, playing great games, watching cool videos, discovering heroes in the Bible. They'll have fun while they learn God's Word. The Superbook Kids Bible app, available now.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Discover the I wills of God. I will rescue him, protect him, answer him, be with him in trouble, deliver him, honor him, satisfy him with long life, show him my salvation.
What I felt was loved and treasured.
God spared my life twice in 3 days.
The good Lord had given me a second chance.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or visit CBN.com. The I wills of God, the latest teaching from Pat Robertson.
Welcome back to Christian World News. Cambodia has one of the highest populations of sex workers in the world. Sadly, when these women become mothers, they still have to sell their bodies for money.
It's so sad. Sarah Bowling looks after and protects the babies of sex workers, and in doing so, she's helping break the cycle of prostitution.
We were visiting like a rural malnutrition clinic. This doctor came up to us. Did you bring money? No. Did you bring medicine? No. Well, then why are you here? Do you have blood? I'm like, yeah. And so she said, I want that blood because I have a 2-year-old, Angelina, who's basically at death's door. You could see it in her eyes. I mean, she's just like terrorized. And I'll never forget her eyes looking at me. I just wanted to do whatever I could to help her. And I felt helpless. And these are easy answers. You know, we're not trying to cure cancer. Just babies hanging by a thread. That was a defining moment for me. My name is Sarah Bowling, and I'm the founder for Saving Moses. We're a global humanitarian organization aimed for 0 to 5-year-olds, where the need is most urgent and the care is least available. And this is like the most fragile, vulnerable time of a human's life. We do something very distinct called night care. So we take care of babies and toddlers, of prostitute sex workers in third world countries while they work. So they come in, they give them a bath, they feed them dinner, and then there's playtime. And then they circle up and do a little bit of discipline, self-control. So they sing songs, they have a little snack, they have like a little prayer time. And at the end, they get to sing about Jesus, which is cool. And then we take them, put them up to bed. In America, people were like, so you're in favor of prostitution because you take care of these babies, so these ladies can go out and do that. I'm like, I prefer to say that I'm supporting the babies and toddlers and protecting them. That's my top priorities, these babies and toddlers. I looked into it, nobody around the world is doing that. And I would come to these red light areas, brothels and all this stuff. And that's the thing, everybody focuses, and I understand, they focus on the moms, the sex workers. But in the meantime, it's these babies and toddlers. They're on the bed with their mom as she's working. That's a day-to-day reality. I had 8 out of 10 moms tell me, my baby's on the bed with me as I work. In one red light, they drug their babies and put them under the bed so they don't make any noise while they're working. I mean, you had one little boy, he wandered out in the street, 2 years old, and he got run over by a car and died. This is most urgent, least available. And you're like, well, how could they do that? I'm like, if they could get out of it, they would. That's hell. Most of these women, they don't read, they don't write, they don't have any alternative profession, they don't have any way to earn a living. They've been abandoned by their families, all this stuff. And in the meantime, their babies and their toddlers are on the front lines every day. And they're the ones that have the highest risk of abuse and neglect, all kinds of stuff. Hurt people hurt people. So you're also a part of eliminating some of the awful perpetuation of these atrocities. Night care exists to turn their lives around and give them an opportunity to see a different future. You want to change the industry, you start with the babies and the toddlers because this is their worldview. They grow up in this every single day. Get them out and then you change their worldview so they think, I don't have to grow up and be a sex worker like my mom. There's a different opportunity. At least I have a choice. Our nannies that work in our centers, they will, from time to time, once a week, once a month, go door to door in the neighborhoods and pass out little cards and explain to them in Khmer language, hey, this is what we do. We'd love to have your baby come and visit us, and you're welcome to come. We have open houses from time to time so the moms can come in. Right now, I run around 100 plus or minus babies, toddlers every night here in Cambodia, and I want more. And I'm talking to the staff here, I'm like, hey, where would you like to open next? Because I'm always thinking, come on, let's do more. And I have good people on my team. They make me better. And I think they like what they do, so. You know, the environments where they live are pretty shady on a good day. Some of them, they live above sewage, raw sewage, and some of them fall in it, you know, and they fish them out. And they'll come in and they'll have like sores and bed bugs and all this stuff. Some of them, the only meal they get is with us at night. Challenges, a lot of challenges, particularly at the beginning. And I think you just got to keep going. You know, keep feeling your way along and don't expect everything to be perfect the first time you try it. I think when we think that way, it's all going to be easy breezy. I think we set ourselves up for failure. If God puts it in your heart, then keep going. I think as Americans, we need to be conscientious of our own filters, our own mindset. Number one, am I loving? Because love's going to say, be compassionate and gentle and kind. That's the distinct definition for Christianity, for Jesus followers, is that love is our core definition. Saving Moses, right? So if you think about it, Moses, he's a 3-month-old little baby, trapped in slavery, doesn't have any choice out, and he's rescued, saved by Pharaoh's daughter. At the end of Moses' life, what did he do? What all did he accomplish? But when he's 3 months old, his life is hanging by a thread. So you don't know when we're saving Moses, you have no idea. You have no idea the impact and the purpose God has for those babies and toddlers. So we're just here to be loving. End of story.
Incredible story. By the way, that was produced by our CBN producer, Hunter McWaters. Incredible story.
She reminds me of a modern-day Mother Teresa.
Yeah, oh, are you kidding? Hands down.
And such a unique ministry, and wow, the impact.
100 babies a night.
And breaking that cycle of prostitution. Yeah. Praise the Lord.
Beautiful. Being the hands and feet of Jesus.
I love it. Beautiful story.
Well, for more stories like this, go to cbnnews.com. We'll be back right after this.
When you give, smiles grow bigger. When you care, homes are happier. When you comfort, the hurt goes away. When we all come together to love, miracles happen.
Hello, I'm Terry Newsom. Did you know there are more than 148 million orphans in the world today? 148 million. But it was 3 little girls that taught me about the plight of orphans. My husband and I spent nearly a month immersed in the daily activities of a Ukrainian orphanage as we waited to adopt 3 sisters. I saw firsthand the utter loneliness, the pain of rejection, and the overwhelming desire to be loved. That experience changed me forever. And out of it grew a ministry from my heart called Orphan's Promise. Today, we're helping orphans and vulnerable children in more than 50 countries worldwide. Thousands of children are now in safe homes. They're being educated, and they're learning life skills. I'm asking you to join with me and become family to these children. Will you call the number on your screen right now? Because every child deserves a chance to be happy.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
When a deadly tornado tore through Lee County, Alabama last month, one Christian family miraculously survived, huddled inside a prayer closet that was the only part of the house left standing. A chaplain with the Billy Graham Rapid Response Team shared their story, posting a picture and this caption: "I just left a family who survived the tornado in this house, and the only thing left standing is the closet." Look at that. It's the grandmother's prayer closet. And the whole family survived. My God is awesome. Wow. 23 people died in the tornado. The chaplain says only an awesome God explains the miraculous escape.
Incredible. Gosh. Well, folks, I hope you've been encouraged by all of our powerful stories this week.
I'm speechless after that.
Yeah.
Well, until next week, from all of us here, goodbye and God bless you.